And now, Out of the Park presents crazy stories from around the world that are crazy. Here's Matt and Barry.
And Crazy Stories from Around the World That Are Crazy is brought to you, as always, by Stirring Images, Matt.
Yeah, and stirringimages.com is the place to go. They are convincingly realistic.
Before we get into our crazy stories, a couple of things that we need to talk about. First of all, Jim and Doug from Stirring Images came to see We Ain't Petty last week in Ajax. And not only did they come to see our band, but if you look behind me over my shoulder, they came up on stage and presented us with this unfreaking believable canvas portrait. It is not only is it gorgeous, but it has each and every one of the 9 different themed paintings, and I say paintings again, drawings that they have available. And now we have all of them in one.
It truly is amazing.
It's mind-boggling. And they've given it to us. It's like ours now.
Some of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Yes.
One of the things that I strived to be known for when I was involved in landscaping was customer service.
Yes.
And making sure that customers were happy to the point of the instant my name was brought up, they would be passing my information off to friends and family. Man, Jim and Doug, customer service. This is insane. Now, granted, speaking of customer service.
Yes, a very interesting package came in my mailbox this past week.
A very interesting package.
So, as we speak, as we get close to the Christmas season, I open a box.
Yeah.
It happens to be from the Jaywalk. And lo and behold, the Jaywalk has sent you and I both Christmas stockings with our names on them.
Yeah.
And little goodies inside, including a little card, which I'm going to read. And
they gave you cat treats.
And cat treats.
Barry.
Chicken flavor is my favorite, too.
I was going to say, you shouldn't be eating those, right?
No, I'm going to wait. Those are for Christmas,
Yeah.
right? So here we go. I'm going to give you these 2 stockings.
because you're all strapped in, right?
I'm all strapped in. But you're going to hang them. We don't really have a fire to hang them by, but we do have a wall that we have taken our jersey off of, and now it's going to be up to Matt here to hang them with care, right? Yeah. That's the whole idea. Hang them with care. And now we have our first official holiday decorations in the Out of the Park studio.
That's so cool.
There you go.
And many, many thanks to the Jaywalk for that.
Absolutely. Man, we have some really great people that work with us.
I agree.
Okay, so time to get on to some crazy stories, and I'm going to be in the holiday spirit and say, go ahead, you go first.
Barry, do you know what tipping a pitch is?
Of course I do.
I really hope that the camera picked up the eye roll there.
Is that like tipping a cow?
It kind of, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. This is interesting because it has to do with Brandon Morrow, who played for the LA Dodgers, who's
Yes.
now with the Cubs,
Right.
and another pitcher that played for the LA Dodgers. His name's Yu Darvish.
Heard of him too.
And Yu Darvish was clearly tipping pitches.
This is a crazy story from around the world that is crazy?
Well, LA happens to be
Okay.
around the world.
Right.
And it's crazy because the Astros figured it out and they knocked him out of he didn't make it out of the first inning in both of his starts in the World Series. And they clearly outline exactly how they figured out what he was going to pitch. So I thought it would be cool because it was topical, right?
Okay.
It's okay. And it is crazy because this is a great explanation of pitch tipping. All right? Check it out.
Let's hear it.
Whether he grips or not as he brings the ball into his glove was the tip-off if he was going to throw a slider or cutter or fastball. We knew the first time we faced him in Game 3, and we actually recorded it. The next time in Game 7, it was mostly the same, but then it was more about just having a great game plan going in. We knew he was going to try to go back to the slider to find it. So all of this was how he gripped the ball and put it into his glove, and they said that they were right 90% of the time. And because they had this information, they were able to knock him out of essentially the first inning in both of his World Series starts. So to me, that's crazy in that his tipping was that direct. They were able to pick up on it that easily that they basically took this weapon out of the LA Dodgers arsenal and just tossed it aside.
Or were the Astros just that good at cheating?
Look, I'm trying to make this. This was not about penises,
No.
or farts,
Or dead people.
or crime, or
Yeah.
anything. Right? This was about baseball.
Okay. Are you ready for mine? And
Yes.
this one is.
Are you going to trounce this?
It's quite possible.
All right.
We actually leave the
Confines of the USA.
confines of the continent, and we
Oh.
go to jolly old England,
Okay.
where we have many listeners. We go to Leeds, and a 33-year-old woman by the name of Amanda Liberty. And
She sounds suspect.
Well, the reason her last name is Liberty is because she changed that name legally to Liberty. When you're in love, you decide that you get to a point where you would like to propose and be engaged, and then eventually get married. This 33-year-old woman did just that.
That sounds beautiful. It's wonderful.
The odd thing is that she is not engaged to a human being.
Oh.
She is engaged to a chandelier.
Oh. Must be a heck of a chandelier.
Her actual quote was, "You can't control who you fall in love with. Things just went from there." And my first thought, as I'm reading this story, is this has got to be a joke, right? Well, apparently it is not a joke. She has a number of light fixtures in her house, and this one she is in love with and she proposed to. There are other ones in which that she has slept with over the years. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. She first fell in love with a. By the way, she refers to herself as objectum sexual. Now, in this day and age, there are very many different terms that I'm learning that I'm totally unaware of. Objectum sexual is one that I've never heard of before.
This is fake.
Her first love.
This is not real. You're making this up.
This was sent to me by one of our loyal listeners. Her first
course.
love was a drum set that she had at 14 years old, which you could
okay.
probably relate to, right?
Yep.
Then she had an intimate relationship, apparently, one-way relationship, I'm sure, with the Statue of Liberty, which is why she changed her name legally to Liberty in 2010. The more I look into this story, the more I think that there's no way this could be real, but apparently it is. In fact, a lot of strange things happen in England. There was a case in 2014 where a British woman married her dog after a failed marriage to, well, it didn't say what it was. Oh, it did say a man. And there was another person who married his self-created robot girlfriend, which for many, I think that might be some, you know.
Okay. So a couple things. I have a couple. Actually, I have a question, but I also have a comment.
Okay.
Your delivery with your story
Yeah.
is great. By the way, you have a great delivery with this. It's slightly sarcastic with a little bit of awe and wonder. I love it. I love your delivery.
Thank you.
So my question with regards to the chandelier
Yes.
is to do with contraception. How would one practice safe relations with a chandelier? You cannot get a condom big enough for the chandelier. Is this a garbage bag? How are we? We should contact GLAAD
Right.
and ask.
And when you procreate with a chandelier,
Do you get light bulbs?
you give birth to a light
Or,
bulb, and then as it gets older, it turns into a lamp.
Oh, like
Right.
a leg lamp, like a Zach Ward type deal.
Totally. While we're on this topic, because there have been some other bizarre marriages over the years, a woman married a roller coaster, and another woman has actually married the Eiffel Tower.
So again, contraception is the thing that I'm thinking about.
Now, here's the other thing. There are two sides to a proposal, right? There is the asking of the proposal,
And there's the acceptance.
and there's the acceptance of the
Yes.
proposal. So how do these people know that these objects that they've proposed to have actually said yes?
Very good question. The next question would be, ceremony-wise, how are we inviting the Eiffel Tower to a wedding ceremony?
You would have to go to it,
Right.
right?
It's a movable object.
Yeah. So I'm thinking from here on in, our crazy stories are going to involve death, male body parts, and food.
Because this week's crazy stories was an unmitigated disaster between the two of us.
This
this
was just
awful.
really, really
It's bad.
Yeah.
The other thing too that you didn't say that I fall down laughing every time you say it. I'm not even sure if I can say it. I love when you give your story and then you look in the camera and I look in the camera. You're like, kids, and you give your little moral of the
So
story.
basically, are you saying that it is lesson time with Uncle Barry? Okay. Kids,
That's the creepiest
when
thing.
it does come time to fall in love, and now we're not telling you that you cannot love your carpet or your TV or your lamp. And if we've all watched Anchorman, I know you're a big fan of that. There was a scene where Brick, played by Steve Carell, actually was in love with a lamp. So it has been known to happen. Kids, when it does come time to find your partner for life that you would like to live with for the rest of your life and grow old with, yeah, I understand that a chandelier probably will live longer than you. But let's think about the actual sharing and give and take that is involved in a relationship. I don't know just how much giving the chandelier will give.
Speaking of giving,